Hi everyone, thank you again for joining me at Studio NYC. My name is Sabeen, and this is a special segment actually because we're joined here by Jack Magnuson, who's a dear friend, and he's on his way to North Carolina right now for an Earth Skills event, which takes place annually, and it's called Firefly, and it's fantastic. And Jack, why don't you tell us what they do there? What is Firefly all about? What do you guys do?
Sure, yeah. So at Firefly, what an Earth Skills Gathering is sort of a big umbrella for a bunch of different things. So eco-homesteading and permaculture, which is sort of a way of thinking about creating agricultural spaces. And then also primitive skills, which are things like how to make fire with friction, so by rubbing some sticks together. And finally, a broader concept called nature connection, which involves all sorts of ways of sort of connecting your awareness with being in a natural environment.
So, as you know, this segment is all about spirituality and more of like a holistic approach, and we include hip hop as well. But overall, it's just how to connect. And to me personally, connecting with nature is the best way to raise your spiritual levels. Now, at this gathering, what are some of maybe the classes one can take that would introduce them to that? I don't know.
Sure. So while sort of at a surface level, the event seems to be mostly about these technical skills. A lot of people call them hard skills. So how to tan a hide to make leather or something like that. But
wow. Okay.
So while there's hard skills like that, there's also a lot of classes that are specifically about what we call soft skills.
Okay.
And so those are the sort of the broader questions about your awareness as an individual and the sort of way that you work with your mind, or at a cultural level, also in terms of the society that's using these skills. And then I think of those as sort of being a spiritual question.
So are there classes, let's say, for people who aren't able to do something like turn leather into belts or whatever the hard skills are? Because knowing me, I can't do that. But would there be stuff like how I speak about meditation and yoga classes and like easier way into it? Do they offer those type of classes?
Sure, yeah. So first of all, there are yoga classes at the event. And then a lot of them are probably going to be themed in a way that is more involved with this concept of nature connection.
Gotcha.
So one class that particularly stuck with me from the first time I ever went to the event was this one that was about movement in the woods. And so what we did is we just sort of followed this guy who guided us through the woods, but it wasn't a normal hike because we were just sort of interacting with the environment in a way that we wouldn't normally think to do. So stuff like crawling around on the ground in the mud. Sort of, I mean, it's a lot like just sort of being
yourself into nature.
The way a child would.
Yeah.
But using a tree as a back scratcher and all sorts of silly stuff, and you look like a bunch of crazy people while you're doing it. But
you're building that connection. You're being one with nature, and I that's the only way to me one would connect. Feeling everything, touching everything, just being free. That sounds fantastic. So if someone wanted to learn more about this, like, is there a website, or is there how would they go about that? Like, what is the website?
Sure. Yeah, you can find us on Facebook or on it's fireflygathering.org.
That's
you can
fireflygathering.org. Go ahead.
And all the event details will be there.
Okay. And when is this happening, actually?
So the event's coming up at the end of this month. So it starts on the 29th of June and then goes into July 2nd.
Gotcha. So if one was to be doing this, would they? Is this like a musical festival or something? Do you what about room and board? Like, how do you go? Like, do you stay in hotels? Do you camp out? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different ways to participate. You can come for as many or as few days as you want. Most people stay in tents on the land, but you certainly could stay at a nearby hotel and drive in every day. And then you can also, if you want to go to the event but don't have the money to pay for a ticket, there's a work trade option where you can come for sort of an extended period of time. And
can you define work trade option?
so there's a whole bunch of different tasks. A lot of the tasks are about setting up the site. So if you want to come and help set up tents, there's probably still work to be done there. But then other stuff like cooking for the workers and stuff like completely different from that, like marketing or making crafts to give to the instructors.
So bottom line, if you haven't got the funds to pay for attendance, you can do a trade of working and so on. Gotcha. That sounds fair, nice, okay. So yeah, this whole concept, like to me at least, it sounds fantastic. Is there like an age limit or I don't know.
No, yeah, anyone can come. It's a very family-friendly event.
But what if you've got little kids and stuff?
We even have a child care program. So for very little children, there's sort of like a nursery area where they'll be taken care of, and you can go off.
How fantastic is that? Okay.
Yeah, and then for older children, there's sort of structured programs as well for them, and so they can have sort of their own space, and then they can venture out into the rest of the event as well.
That's excellent. I mean, to me personally, this sounds like a great way for someone to immerse themselves with nature and learn about nature, as well as acquire new skills, like useful skills, learning how to build fires. I mean, that's just, it's like everyone camps. Doesn't everyone camp? Doesn't everyone camp? I don't know, but I love camping. So yes, building fires and leather belts might be a little bit more of a difficult task, but you get to learn it. So yeah, this sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this with us. And you guys, thank you so much for being with us here. And I hope you got to learn about this and definitely check them out. Again, it's fireflygathering.org. It'll have all the event details. And yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Hope to see you there.